Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I hope this weekend you had an opportunity to purposely do some relaxing, not worry about everything that had to get done, but doing things in a more efficient manner and allowing yourself some time to breathe, to sit quietly, to just be still. When you allow your nervous system to just sit still and be still, everything calms down. You calm down. Your creative abilities are enhanced. You can think more clearly. New solutions can come to you when you're not just running around doing. It takes practice. It takes practice to teach your body emotionally what it's going to feel like before your goal is manifest. What do you want to bring into your life? Something that you think is missing, something that you want to do or be or have. What feeds your soul? You are a spiritual being with unlimited potential, and it's locked up inside of you. You don't need more information. You just need to know how to apply it. And part of it is allowing more nervous system regulation and just thinking from your goal instead of how am I going to get there? How can I do this? What do I need to do next? When you sit quietly, you allow the universal intelligence to come in and give you the answers. They're already in you. There's already a divine plan. Just sit still and listen. When your future becomes your present, how do you want to feel? We know that when we have a strong belief, we have an expectation, we have assumptions that things are going to happen, and your assumptions become your experience. So you can assume that what you want, how you want to be living is on its way, but you can't live tomorrow. You can only live in the present moment. And as we continue focusing on the past and living in the past, dredging up past hurts and memories and past ways of doing things, and we've always done it like that, and I was taught to do it this way, we drag all that baggage into the future. We're slowing down the ability to bring to us what we truly desire by hanging on to old beliefs. They served us at one point, but now it's time to examine them and look at what if I let go of some of the beliefs that are no longer serving me. The creative spirit is always available to you. It's inside you. It is constantly flowing. All the experts know that energy is, and energy is flowing into you all the time. It's what you do with it that makes your life. as energy flows in, you make it either negative or positive through your thinking. Let go of some of the limitations, the beliefs that are not serving you, and make a decision to let yourself get emotionally involved with a goal that you really, truly want. Pretend that it's already here. Get excited. I'm going to read the chapter Affirmative Power from Thomas Troward. He wrote a book called The Hidden Power, and chapter 4 is Affirmative Power. Troward says, thoroughly to realize the true nature of affirmative power is to possess the key to the great secret. We feel its presence in all the innumerable forms of life by which we are surrounded, and we feel it as the life in ourselves. And at last, someday the truth bursts upon us like a revelation that we can wield this power, this life, by the process of thought. And as soon as we see this, the importance of regulating our thinking begins to dawn upon us. We ask ourselves what this thought process is, and we then find that it is thinking affirmative force into forms which are the product of our own thought. We mentally conceive the form and then think life into it. What vision do you have? What would you love to be doing? What purposeful work would you be doing to serve your family, the world, your community, serving others with a full heart and being well paid for it? What would you do if you could do anything? Maybe you love your job and you're bringing in a decent wage and you want true love. You want to be in a fantastic romantic relationship, sharing your life with someone special. Maybe you want to create something that you know the world needs. You're frustrated with certain products or the way things are always done, and you know that they can be done better. What does that look like? We cannot solve problems from thinking of the same problem and being in the same energetic vibration as what we don't want. We have to lift ourselves higher into the vibration energy of what the solution could be, how you want things to be running. And then ideas come to you. And as you think on the ideas, as you think on how easy things could be, you get another thought and another thought. And as you focus your thinking on the positive result, the outcome, the solution, a destination that you want to arrive at, you can raise your vibrational energy and new thought forms come to you. That's how everything is built. Get an idea and then you take action on it. You look at a problem and decide there's got to be something better, and allow yourself to be calm enough to start thinking different thoughts, changing your perspective, looking at things from a different point of view, from a feeling of well-being and being at ease. And then the creative power starts really working. You get a fantasy, you visualize, you pretend you're there. And then ideas hit you out of the blue. Sometimes it comes like, why didn't I think of that before? Sometimes it's a hint, a whisper, an impulse. As you follow those little hints and impulses, your ideas begin to develop into a practical plan for the solution. Thomas Troward in Affirmative Power says, "We mentally conceive the form and then we think life into it. This must always be the nature of the creative process on whatever scale, whether on the grand scale of the universal cosmic mind or on the miniature scale of the individual mind. The difference is only in degree and not in kind." We may picture the mental machinery by which this is done in the way that best satisfies our intellect, and the satisfying of the intellect on this point is a potent factor in giving us that confidence in our mental action, without which we can affect nothing. But the actual externalization is a result of something more powerful than a merely intellectual apprehension. It is the result of that inner mental state, getting quiet, getting focused, that inner mental state, which, for want of a better word, we may call our emotional conception of ourselves. It is the self which we feel ourselves to be, which takes forms of our own creating. For this reason, our thought must be so grounded upon knowledge that we shall feel the truth of it, and thus be able to produce in ourselves that mental attitude of feeling which corresponds to the condition which we desire to externalize. What is it that you want? How does it feel now that you have it? You have to get into the mental attitude of feeling that corresponds to the condition that you want to see materialize. That's a great secret to life. We cannot think into manifestation a different sort of life to that which we realize in ourselves. As Horace says, "Nemo dat quod non habet." We cannot give what we have not got. And on the other hand, we can never cease creating forms of some sort by our mental activity, thinking life into them. This point must be very carefully noted. We cannot sit still producing nothing, and the mental machinery will keep on turning out work of some sort, and it rests with us to determine of what sort it shall be. Troward says, in our entire ignorance or imperfect realization of this, we create negative forms and we think life into them. We create forms of death, sickness, sorrow, trouble, and limitation of all sorts. And then we think life into them, with the result that, however non-existent in themselves, to us they become realities and throw their shadow across the path, which would otherwise be bright with many colored beauties of innumerable flowers and the glory of the sunshine. This need not be. It is giving to the negative an affirmative force which does not belong to it. Consider what is meant by the negative. It is the absence of something. It is not being. And it is the absence of all that constitutes being. Left to itself, it remains in its own nothingness, and it only assumes form and activity when we give these to it by our thought. So if you think of the universe as no thing, nothing, the spaces between the interspaces of the universe, when you look out around you and you think that it's empty, there is all kinds of waves of energy. It starts thinking a thought. There's nothing. And then you think a thought, and as you focus your energy, that thought starts to develop into what it would look like, how it would feel, and then what actions could you take? And then as you take actions, your action causes a ripple into the universe. It causes things that were not seen to become material. You build a house not with the wave of a magic wand, but with thinking of what it's going to look like. Where will the door be? How is the shape of the house? Where are the rooms? Where would you put the windows? Everything starts to take form from an initial thought. Troward says, here then is the great reason for practicing control over our thoughts. It is the one and only instrument we have to work with, but it is an instrument which works with great certainty. For limitation, if we think limitation; for enlargement, if we think enlargement. Our thought as feeling is the magnet which draws to us those conditions which accurately correspond to itself. This is the meaning of the saying that thoughts are things. But you say, how can I think differently from my circumstances? Certainly you're not required to say that the circumstances at the present moment are what they are not. To say that would be untrue. But what is wanted is not to think from the standpoint of circumstances at all. Think from that interior standpoint where there are no circumstances, and from whence you can dictate what circumstances shall be, and then leave the circumstances to take care of themselves. Do not think of this, that, or the other particular circumstances of health, peace, etc., but of health, peace, and prosperity themselves. There was an old advertisement in Pearson's Weekly that said, think money, big money. Money makers think money. This is a perfectly sound statement of the power of thought, although it is only an advertisement, but we may make an advance beyond thinking money. We can think life in all its fullness, together with that perfect harmony of conditions which includes all that we need of money and 1,000 other good things besides, for some of which money stands as a symbol for exchangeable value, while others cannot be estimated by so material a standard. Therefore, think life, illumination, harmony, prosperity, happiness. Think the things rather than this or that condition of them. And then by the sure operation of the universal law, these things will form themselves into the shapes best suited to your particular case, and will enter your life as active living forces which will never depart from you, because you know them to be part and parcel of your own being. Do you know that what is yours is meant for you? If you're worried about missing out on something now, you don't have to worry about competition or who has what, because there is more than enough to go around. There is so much prosperity in this universe. There is so much abundance. You just get into the feeling of the universe is all powerful. You are co-creating your reality with God, the architect of the universe. Tap into that energy and ask for what you really want. And don't limit the universe by saying, I just want this. I'll be happy when I have a new car. I'll be happy when I have a happy marriage. What if you just got into the feeling, that the energy of what does it feel like when you have what you want? Being grateful, being at ease, feeling total well-being and expressing that, wanting to jump and dance and run around because you are having so much fun. You're healthy and happy and active and fit and enjoying your life. What does that feel like? Your assumptions become your experience, and you only have the now, the present moment. Your present assumptions create your future physical results. What do you really want? Take some time to write it down and write it in the present as if it's here and you're so grateful for it. As you're gratefully contemplating, feeling good, feeling well, feeling at ease, having faith that everything you want is coming in the right time, in the right order. Tell me about it on paper. Write it down. Get into that dreamy state of fantasy and knowing that you're going to be happy when. Write down how happy you are now that it's your reality. as you practice this, feeling, teaching your body emotionally what it's going to feel like before your ideal is manifested, you get ideas and you start to do things differently. And as you change, your environment changes. Troward says, thoroughly to realize the true nature of affirmative power is to possess the key to the great secret. We feel its presence in all the innumerable forms of life by which we are surrounded, and we feel it as the life in ourselves. And at last, someday, the truth bursts upon us like a revelation that we can wield this power, this life, by the process of thought. And as soon as we see this, the importance of regulating our thinking begins to dawn on us. We ask ourselves what this thought process is, and we then find that it is thinking affirmative forces into forms which are the product of our own thought. We mentally conceive the form and then think life into it. And that is a process. That is the nature of every creative process on whatever scale. Build your beautiful vision of what you desire, write about it, think about it from the goal already attained, from the wish fulfilled, from the destination, as if you're there. As you get ideas, write them down. Sometimes the crazier the idea, the bigger the reward. Write it down and take action on it. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. See you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.